So you have decided that this year you're going to start journaling. However, you have no idea where to start or what to even write about. Don't worry, I've got you. Today I will be bringing you 11 different types of journals that you can start right now and keep throughout your journey. Welcome to part 2 of this series that I've called Let's Talk About Journaling. My name is Yarelis, and I am a multi-passionate girly who has been obsessed with keeping journals and journaling since I was able to grab a pencil and write. So probably elementary school. In this video, I will be giving you 11 ideas of different types of journals that you could start today. However, before we get into it, I must give you a little disclaimer. I mentioned this in my previous video. Journaling is a very, very personal practice. It's something that is meant to serve you and to help you get through anything that you're going through right now. It's supposed to be an experience that you enjoy, and there are absolutely no rules to journaling. Maybe you want to keep just one journal to get started, to pour your heart out into, or maybe you want to keep multiple ones and give a try to all these 11 ideas that I'm bringing you today. Just know that there's no right or wrong way to do this. The important thing is that you've decided to start a very healthy and fun habit, and to make it fun, just have fun in the process. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's get into what you came here for. The first type of journal that I'll be talking about is your typical traditional daily journal. This could be a daily thoughts or daily anecdotes type of journal, or even both, which is what I am currently working on. A daily journal is a space in which you get to explore your feelings, your thoughts, in which you get to document what you do on a daily basis, anything that you might want to keep forever, basically, any memories, any significant things that happen throughout your day, you can document those in your daily journal. It's closer to what we grew up seeing in movies, like this Dear Diary type of situation. That's how I see it, that's how I use it. I don't necessarily write Dear Diary, but that's what it feels like. This is the type of journaling that I am focusing on in 2025, and this is my daily journal right here. It's a dated daily planner that I've decided to use to document thoughts and the things that I'm doing on a daily basis so that I can look back at it in the future and pass it on to maybe my future children, and they can pass it on to their children, and so on and so forth. My goal with this journal is to fill it up with memories, thoughts, feelings, emotions. It's very fun to keep a daily journal. I think it's a very exciting practice. It's something that I look forward to at the end of my workday when I come back home and I'm winding down and decompressing from the workday. I just love to write down how the day went, what I did in the morning before work, how my workday was, what I was feeling, all the things that I experienced, what I learned, something that someone said that I don't want to forget, anything that resonated with me, I write down in this journal. And I just think it's very fun to sit down and just try to think back to the beginning of the day. This is what I did, this is how I felt, and just to document it all in this book. I think it's a very fun practice. I've also been exploring my creativity with it as well. I've been doodling, practicing my handwriting. I've also clipped gift wrapping paper onto it. I've even been collecting little tea packet things that have quotes on them because they speak to me somehow. I've been doodling. It's just been very fun. It's a way for me to explore my creativity and at the same time documenting all these memories that I want to cherish and remember and potentially pass on to my children. All right, moving on to type of journal number 2, which is gratitude journaling. The name says it all. A gratitude journal is one in which you write about the things that you're grateful for, the things that you feel that you've been blessed with, anything that you're grateful for. That is what you would write in this journal. You can write them in lists, you can write paragraphs, you can explain why you're grateful for certain things. I think that this is a very healthy practice that probably brings a lot of positivity into your life. I feel like there's a lot of power in gratitude, and there's also a lot of power in writing things down. So putting these two together might be something that is very great for you. You can choose to either start your day with gratitude journaling or end your day with gratitude journaling. It doesn't matter at what time of the day you do this. The important thing is that you took some time to reflect on everything that you have, everything that you've been blessed with, and you're writing down those things that stood out to you on that particular day, whether it's a member of your family, your pet, your home, the city that you live in. And I'm actually mentioning the things that I'm extremely grateful for. So these are the things that you would write in this gratitude journal. Type of journal number 3. This is one that I wish I could keep. I tried at one point, but it's just something that does not work out for me. And this is a dream journal. It has never worked for me because I forget my dreams 98% of the time. But I've always thought that it would be so fun to be able to remember my dreams and document them and look back at them. This is one that I would think you would keep on your nightstand, like on a table right next to your bed, and it's the first thing that you grab as soon as you open your eyes and you pour your brain into. I think I first learned about a dream journal, honestly, when I watched the movie Shark Boy and Lava Girl, perhaps. I think a dream journal would be very interesting to explore. I think that it would reveal a lot about who you are, what you're going through, how you actually feel about the situations that you're currently in. You could really learn a lot about your feelings and emotions by just exploring what your brain creates and comes up with while you're sleeping. So if you're someone who actually remembers your dreams and you like to reflect on them, interpret them, etc., I think a dream journal would be a great place to start. And it would probably get your creative juices flowing, and it could evolve from there. All right, moving on to type of journal number 4, and this is bullet journaling. This is one that I've considered trying, but I don't think I have the patience and consistency to work on it yet, but it's something that I would eventually like to explore. Here's how a bullet journal works. It's basically a customizable DIY planner, organizer, diary that you create the templates for. To keep this type of journal, you might want to get a dotted page diary or journal. I actually have an example to show you. This is a Moleskine classic soft cover dotted notebook, and actually I haven't taken the wrapper off. So unboxing time. I'm actually struggling to get this plastic wrapper off. There we go. I actually got this one at HomeGoods. Moleskines are more on the expensive side, but HomeGoods, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, even Target sometimes, they have great deals on these. I think I got this for like $4.99 or $5.99 when they're usually anywhere from $12.99 to almost $30. So HomeGoods is good. Oh no, I ruined it with the scissors. This is what the pages look like. So basically a bunch of dots on a page, and they allow you to use the space however you want to. You can just write and use the dots as lines. You can use them as a grid to create boxes, doodles, diagrams, flowcharts. You can really do whatever you want with it. And you basically commit to creating templates, whether that's on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, or at the beginning of the year, you kind of fill it up with templated pages that you're going to use throughout the time frame that you decide to use it for. Some people use bullet journals as their daily planners, weekly planners, monthly planners, etc. You can keep to-do lists, you can have brain dump pages. I still haven't decided how I'm going to use my dotted notebook. It's probably not going to be a bullet journal because, again, like I mentioned, I don't think I have the patience yet to commit to creating templates and then using it. I rather get a planner that already has everything built into it, like the one that I'm currently using, which is this one right here. It's a 2025 planner that I got at TJ Maxx, probably because that's where I get all my journals and planners. But some people do decide to use a blank dotted notebook or journal and create the templates themselves and then just use this throughout the time period that they're going to use it for. So that's essentially what a bullet journal is. It's basically whatever you choose to make it and whatever works for you at that moment. And that's all I know about bullet journaling. There's a lot of accounts here on YouTube, a lot of people that talk about bullet journaling, and they show you their bullet journals and how they set it up, and they do flip throughs. And if it's something you're interested in, I would highly encourage you to look specifically for bullet journal videos, because they're honestly very entertaining and it looks like a lot of fun. It's just a lot of work in my opinion. So now moving into journal type number 5. This would be a project journal. This is pretty self-explanatory. It would be a space in which you explore the projects that you're currently working on, the projects that you would like to start working on eventually. And it's just a place in which you can just document all the ideas that come to your head. Maybe you want to carry this journal with you everywhere you go because you are someone who gets inspired by the things that surround you. Then this would be a great one to keep in your purse, in your backpack, and just kind of like pull it out anytime that you come up with an idea or that you see something that might be beneficial for whatever project you're currently working on. You can either choose to focus on one particular project or just write about every project that's in your head and just dump it in there so that you can make more space in your head for other ideas. Now moving on to one of my favorite type of journals, and this would be art journaling. This was actually my favorite type of journaling when I first started intentionally journaling. An art journal is basically a blank canvas in the shape of a book, notebook, diary, and it's just a space that is ready for you to go wild with your creativity. You can choose one medium to focus on and develop that skill particularly. For example, maybe you've been wanting to get into creating collages or using acrylic paints or markers or colored pencils or just pen. You can choose whichever medium you want, and you can even make it a mixed media art journal in which you put all of these techniques together and then you just create a massive work of art that you can flip through. And I love watching flip through videos of people's art journals. They're just so creative and inspiring and beautiful and chunky. And I used to keep these before when I had more time, quote unquote, because you can create the time that you need to do all these things. But when I used to dedicate more of my time to journaling, I loved to fill up pages with colors and sketches. It was just so much fun, and it's something that I've been wanting to get back into. So stay tuned to probably see some art journaling related content on this channel. And this is very similar to the type of journal number 7 that I'm going to go into right now, which is junk journaling. And I think this is one of the most fun types of journaling ever. A junk journal is a space in which you just collect junk. Anything that other people might think is trash, anything that people might toss in a trash bin that you have some sort of emotional connection to, you can put it in your junk journal. And I'm talking about napkins, those little cardboard things that go on coffee cups so that you don't burn your hand. You can put those in there. Chopstick wrappers, candy wrappers, receipts, postcards, Christmas wrapping paper, birthday cards. I'm trying to think of more odd things that you could keep that might be trash for someone else, because I'm someone who actually collects these, and it might be weird for someone who doesn't and who is just used to tossing them in the trash can. But anyways, for me, they are things that have emotions, feelings attached to them, memories. It might be weird for you if you don't do this. We are not judging. We listen and we don't judge. And I know there's someone else out there who feels the same way, who just has a box filled with trash. I have one. I have a box filled with trash that trash means something to me. And lately I've been practicing this type of journaling. I've actually combined it with scrapbooking. Some people don't like the term junk journaling and they insist that it's just scrapbooking, but to me, they're two separate entities, and I'm going to explain why. I feel like junk journaling has no structure, no rules. It gives you more freedom to just glue a bunch of things into a page and move on with your life. Scrapbooking, on the other hand, for me, it's more structured. It has more of a visual appeal. I personally plan out my scrapbook pages a little bit more. I like to play around with how I'm going to position pictures. I think about what I'm writing on the page. I like to make it look aesthetically pleasing. I like to use certain colors in the pages that I'm working on. So I think there's a lot more structure to scrapbooking, and I feel like I want to actually share my scrapbooks with people. So I want to make them pretty for other people to appreciate my work, versus a junk journal. It's basically just for me. It's something that I want to keep because I have no idea where else to put all this trash that I've been collecting that has some sort of emotion or memory attached to it in my head. It's more of a messy space in which I can put all these things, but I'm actually going to show you how I combine these two. I recently started my junk slash scrapbook, and it's this one right here. I think I got this notebook at probably Target. The brand is Bookaroo, I think. Yeah, Bookaroo. I might be saying that completely wrong, but it has like this little flap to put your pen or whatever tool you use to write with. This is how it looks so far. I haven't gotten that far, but I love how it's becoming chunky. I can't wait for this to be like this big, you know? So I basically started with a page that I'm not gonna show you because it has all of my addresses from previous apartments that I've lived in. I just kind of cut them from envelopes that I received at some point, and I put them in the first page. And I think that's very private information, so I'm not going to show that. And then I started with a little journal entry, some images that I felt like reflected who I am in this moment. And I wrote about why I'm starting this journal. And then I had a little October spread in which I wrote what I'm grateful for. And you can play around a lot with how you use your pages and just make it very creative and fun. See, I put receipts and pictures and stickers, and I wrote a lot. I've also been exploring the more junk journal-y spreads, which would be something like this. In this page, I documented without writing anything. I documented a trip to Puerto Rico, which is where I'm from. I bought this postcard specifically for my junk journal, scrapbook, however you want to call it. This is from a coffee bag of some coffee that I bought that is made in Puerto Rico. I have my flight tickets, a picture with my grandma, a picture for my friend's wedding. I have stickers. It just has a bunch of things that bring me back to the moment in which I actually acquired those things. The coffee, where I bought it, the stickers, when I bought it, and who I was with when I was looking through them. So it just has a lot of memories attached to it. I've also been practicing vision boarding, and this is my latest spread. It's a Christmas one, and as you can see, I put some tissue paper. I put the coffee thing that I told you about. I accidentally ripped it, but I thought it looked cute still. Some receipts, clipping from some hot chocolate that I made with my boyfriend at home. So it's really anything that you want to make it. And I'm so excited to keep filling up this book. I think it's going to have so many memories in it, and it's going to be just so fun to look back at it one day. I just think it's a very fun way of exploring my creativity, and I encourage you to start one if you're someone who likes to collect these little mementos and you have maybe your box full of postcards and napkins and receipts and things that you just don't know how to let go of. Maybe put them in a journal. It might be a great way for you to explore your creativity and create more memories with it. All right, that was a lot on junk journaling or scrapbooking, however you want to call it. So let's move on to the next type of journal. This type of journal that I'm about to talk about, I've tried to keep these, but they just don't work for me. There are different types of journals that revolve around habits. You could keep a fitness journal, a health log journal, food journal, etc. And basically this type of journal is one that you fill in and you document your progress in a specific area of your life that you're working on at the moment. For example, in a fitness/health journal, you might document measurements, weight, what you're eating throughout the day, how many calories you're consuming versus how many calories you're burning at the gym. And it might be a great way to notice your progress and keep you motivated towards your physical goals. I think I've tried keeping one of these in the past, but it just hasn't worked out for me because I use my normal daily journal to document my progress in these things. So if it's something that you're interested in, I encourage you to give it a try. Maybe it is something that works for you. A type of journaling that I recently started working on that I'm so excited to explore is reading slash book journaling. How appropriate is this for a book journal? I mean, look at it. It is a bookshelf. It has books, it has a cat on it, and I'm obsessed with my cat, so it made a lot of sense for me to get this and use it for this purpose. So a book journal is basically a journal in which you document the books that you're reading. If you're someone who reads, it's a great way to keep track of all the books you're reading and document your ratings. And you can even learn a lot about yourself based on what you're getting from the books that you're reading. I have barely used it still because I'm just getting into my reading era. But I'm excited to document my ratings and see how my style evolves throughout the years as I continue to explore different genres and as I continue to grow and develop my mentality towards certain topics and all that fun stuff. For now, I can show you my reading journal. This is like my first page. I feel like I'm still adding things to it. I basically wrote this that I found on Pinterest. It's a good day to read a book. I wrote the date in which I started it, and I left a space for which I will write the date in which I finished my reading journal, which might take a while. And then the first actual page is a 2024 reading recap. I printed out the covers of the books that I either started reading or completely read throughout the year, and I rated them. I made sure to point out the one that I liked the most, which is this one right here, In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle. I don't know how to say her last name, so I'm sorry, Rebecca. And I also included the books that I started but haven't finished yet. And I created the spread as a book tracker for 2025. I'm including the title, the author, when I started it, when I finished it, the format, if it's physical, Kindle, audiobook. I still haven't gotten into audiobooks, but it's something that I'm thinking of exploring this year. And then the rating that I'm giving it. And then I wrote a list of goals that I have for 2025 that are book related. And then that's the only thing that I've included in my book journal so far, but I'm excited to fill it up and explore this new hobby that I've started last year. All right, let's keep moving on. I am on a roll. The type of journal number 10 that I'm going to be talking about is travel journal. In plain and simple words, a travel journal is a space in which you document your travel adventures, planning, feelings while you're traveling, postcards, receipts, anything at all that you want to document during your travels, you would put them in your travel journal. Any stamps, any maps that you get and you just don't know where to put them, just slap them on that journal. I've never really kept a travel journal because I don't think I travel enough, or that I travel to enough different places to gather a lot of stuff to put in it. It's something that I would love to explore when I start traveling a little bit more, just for fun. And it would be a great one to keep if you're someone who travels a lot, whether that's for work or for pleasure, in which you just document all your adventures. You can even use it to plan your trips ahead of time, create to-do lists, packing lists, and all of that stuff. I think it's a great one to keep if it's something that you do. All right, last but not least, type of journal number 11. This one is very close to my heart. It's a very personal one, and it is my faith/prayer journal. This year, one of my goals is to grow closer to God and to dive in deeper into my faith. And since journaling is something that I enjoy a lot and prayer is something that I struggle with a lot, I thought that maybe combining it might help me get to a better place in my prayer life. So it's this journal right here. I just think that it's a beautiful, beautiful journal. And since I bought it, I was like, this is a prayer journal. Like it was just giving prayer journal vibes. And I've basically been writing letters to God since January 1st of 2025. I think that it's working so far for me because, again, I love journaling and I make time for journaling and I struggle with making time for prayer. So I think combining those two has been a positive thing, at least in my life. So if this is something that you've been thinking of exploring and growing more in your faith and your relationship with God, and exploring just your spirituality, I encourage you to start a prayer journal or a faith journal. This can be used as one of those habit tracking journals that I mentioned before, but in terms of your faith and your relationship with God. And yeah, I just didn't want to end this video without mentioning this one because it's one that's very special to me and it's very close to my heart. And that's it. That was type of journal number 11. These are only 11 types of journals that you can consider starting, but trust me when I tell you that there are so many more, and you can find lists of journals on Pinterest, on a quick Google search. There's a lot of other YouTube creators that talk about all these types of journals that you can keep. So I would highly encourage you to look them up if none of these resonated with you. There are many, many more that you could try, and you can even create your own type of journal. You can make it your own depending on what you want to document. So just get creative. Think about what is it that you want to document, why do you want to start journaling, and just make it your own. Grab a notebook, grab a pen or pencil or marker or whatever you're going to use to write, and just start writing. And on a final note, if you need help starting, I would recommend looking up prompts for your journals. There's also prompted journals. There are many companies that create prompted journals that you can use to track your habits, your fitness, your faith, your food habits, anything. There's journals directed towards healing your inner child or connecting with your inner child. There's journals that are prompted to explore your relationships and a bunch of other things. So you could consider finding a prompted journal if it's something that you think that might be beneficial for you. If you don't know how to start writing, these could probably contain questions or thoughts that they start and then you kind of like continue. And I think they're a great resource for you to start exploring this practice of journaling. And if you don't want to spend money on a prompted journal, because they might be on the pricier end if you go to stores like Barnes & Noble or Target, etc., you could also find a lot of prompts online. I think I mentioned it before already. You could go on Pinterest, on Google, on YouTube, on Instagram, and there's a lot of people that share prompts that you could use and that could inspire you to start writing. So yeah, this is all that I had for this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I would love to know if you will start one of these journals. I would love to know. If you want to, leave it in a comment below and we can start a conversation about the type of journal that you will be exploring in 2025. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.